Steve Thurman here in beautiful Ljubljana, Slovenia at the 2026 Bitcoin Cash Conference. I have the esteemed pleasure of one Gareth here with me today. We're going to talk about Bitcoin Cash and the Isle of Man initiative specifically. Gareth was an attendee to the conference last year that I met. We struck up many conversations. He's good people. And he won the Bitcoin Cash guest host for the Bitcoin Cash podcast. I think it was a drawing at last year's event or something. I forget how you won it, but you won it. And he had his episode on Jeremy's Bitcoin Cash podcast. I can't remember what number. It was about, 6 months ago or so.
It's February, early February.
Okay. Yeah, about 6-7 months ago. No, I'm sorry, about 4 months ago.
Not that long. Yeah.
Not long ago. This has all happened really fast. And he had mentioned that he'd moved to the Isle of Man, and the Isle of Man TT, the Tourist Trophy motorcycle race, has been something I've been infatuated with since a child. My father showed me early videos, early to me in the 80s, of riders on the Isle of Man TT. And the moment I knew that Gareth had moved there and we had a BCH contact on the island, I said, hey, on a whim, I reached out to him. I said, hey, let's try to sponsor a Bitcoin Cash rider for the 2026 TT. It was really just on a whim. And within 5 days, I want to say, Gareth got back to me and with some great news. I'm going to let you take it from there.
Yeah, it was great to hear from Steve. As you say, we just got on straight away from the word go last year here. And it was personal circumstances. I came off the boat, the Isle of Man in December. And it just ended up by February, I had the keys to a retail unit, which is going to be a co-working place, and it's ended up in the meantime being a print copy shop type thing. But I had kind of had it focused. Because I see myself living there for a while, and I think an island, and particularly a community within an island, is a perfect candidate for Bitcoin Cash adoption. Because it's contained, I think it's going to be easier. And it just so happens also that on the Isle of Man, there's no capital gains tax, and there's a regulatory environment which makes it particularly, it's just easier, not so many hurdles to jump. So yeah, I just thought, right, I want to see what I can do for Bitcoin Cash on the ground up adoption. On the island, so the as well as being my office to get in with my own stuff, a co-working space, and now a copy print shop as well. It's going to be a center somewhere where people know that they can come and learn about Bitcoin Cash. I thought it'd be a lot easier to go and talk to merchants, retailers, and just generally rather than just some newcomer to the island walking around shops, that if I'm already part of the community and I have a physical presence, people can come and talk to me. So that's where I was, and although I had loads of ideas of what I could do with this prize podcast, and I plagued them, poor Jeremy and Jet, for months. Oh, I've got a great idea. I want to do this with it. And they was like, yeah, sure, if you want, just let us know when you've decided what you're going to do. And it's like, and then eventually, so I ended up on the island, and I had this, the day after I got the key, I managed to get the key to this place, and the following day we did the podcast from there. So it was Bitcoin Cash podcast special live from the Isle of Man. You can go and find it. It was a lot of fun. It's about an hour and a half, and Steve heard it, and of course the Isle of Man connection resonated, and you reached out, and 88,000 people on there. So everyone is like 2 hops away from someone. So, it's very easy. But I didn't know. I just walked into the jacket potato shop with Rachel at Terry's Taters there, thinking, I don't know, she's got a signed photo of a rider there. Let's just ask if she knows somebody. And before I knew it, I had I mean, you know the stats better than I do, but someone who's on very good form, has got a very good record, one of the top tier riders, Dean Harrison, it turns out he's also a lovely, lovely fella. He's a real gentleman, family man, and yeah, it all just happened from there, didn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty quick, and I was just impressed that you jumped into action so quickly. Yeah, we're really excited to have a community sponsorship, Bitcoin Cash community sponsorship of Dean Harrison, a 5-time Isle of Man TT champion, 35 podiums. This is a top tier rider, one of the best in the world. These guys are riding a 37.73 loop, 37.73 mile loop, 6 laps on this loop on the Snaffel mountain course. Average speed, I think, is 136 miles an hour, right around there. Average speed, it's absolutely mental. I don't care if you're not a sports fan at all. This is one of the most exciting races in the world. It is regarded as the most dangerous motorcycle race in the world. And a sports fan or not, it's an absolute spectacle to behold. So tune in. Dean will be racing in 6 races during this 2026 TT. The main event, if you will, is the Superbike TT. It's the big one where all the big boys come out on their large CC motorcycles. So that's the one we are having a BCH Guru prediction market for. And so if you want to place a wager on whether or not Dean will podium being first, second, or third place, it's a simple yes or no prediction market. You can do so on bch.guru. The app is app.bch.guru, and you can place your wager there. But on a bigger scale here, what are your longer term intentions here on the Isle of Man? You've mentioned a little bit, hinted as to your ideas, but what would you like to see happen, and what are your next steps once the TT is over, once all the tourists leave and the island gets back to some normalcy sometime, I'm guessing mid-June? What are your plans on the ground with Bitcoin Cash?
Well, I'll just talk a little bit more about during first, because one of the things that came out of this whole thing, as well as having the Bitcoin Cash logo on both sides of his helmet, negotiated by Steve, and it was just great. He's also, Dean, very generously has had his trials bike, the one that gets smashed and trashed while they're setting up for the season, where they take it to and over the limit. That's out of use for the rest of the season. He got it logoed up with Bitcoin Cash, and he's brought it into the shop for me. So that's going to be a real draw.
It's in the window, right?
It's in the window.
The storefront window.
Right.
So
there's lots of people already that are coming past. I need to finish off a pull-up poster that'll have Dean Harrison. He's also, I should mention that he has embraced the Bitcoin Cash ethos. He's received this to his to cold storage, and he wants to spend it on island as well. He wants to be part of it. He's even agreed to a title of being a Bitcoin Cash ambassador for the island, which is just, I mean, we weren't expecting this at all, but he's been so engaged and generous. It's just, yeah, we couldn't have asked for better, really, how it's worked out. So what that's going to do, it's going to have, I mean, mainly the tourists, the attendees who are going to be intrigued by the bike. They're going to come in, they're going to ask what Bitcoin Cash is. They're going to see it on his helmet anyway. So we're going to get lots of Dean Harrison fans in and race fans coming in. And I think the 2 weeks after I go back from here, I'm not going to get much work done, because I'm mostly going to be answering questions about what is this all about and stuff. So
it's a good problem to have.
I'm going to come from Bliss and go back to the island and end up talking about Bitcoin Cash for a couple of weeks, which is, yes, it's not complaining about that at all. So going forward, well, to start with, he wants to spend some of his money as Bitcoin Cash without having to exchange it first. So I'm talking to his tire suppliers and some other places, so to see if he can spend it without having to exchange it first. So we've got that line. I'm also soon going to be starting up regular meetups, Bitcoin Cash meetups, because although I'm talking to a lot of merchants and my fellow street merchants it's a community. Nobody's jumping yet, and I'm not pushing hard because there's only me who wants to spend. So I need first to kind of build up. It's got to happen in parallel. The one big lesson that I've seen, asking about the various attempts that have been some successful, some failure. The difference between them is consistency and nurturing. Doing a big splash is fine, and BTC has done it on the island as well. Coin Corner, the exchange there, they did a big splash. They recruited 60 merchants to a Lightning solution, card solution, custodial that they'd done, but they didn't follow through. And we know that doesn't work. The only way it can happen if there's consistency. So having a presence is somewhere where people know they can always come and talk to me and ask me about it. And then nurturing then in terms of people who are fascinated by it, people who want to have some. We'll do, during the TT, I'll do another purely peer drop, and this time we've gotten around the issues with geo-spoofing, where basically cheats were taking all these drops away instead of people on island. So to get some BCH in people's hands to talk about how what's available, what available means are there to turn at least some of your earnings into Bitcoin Cash, rather than having to go out and buy it, because it's one of the themes of Bliss, of the conference this year, has been and is, and I like it very much, that there's a difference in how we think about Bitcoin Cash if we have gone and bought it, in which case it kind of feels like an investment, or if we're earning it, in which case it feels like money. And the tendency to hold it, and in the extreme go to kind of Bitcoin's Gollum coin, hodl, it's all mine, and the less there is on the market, the higher the price will be, and it'll push my bags up, and all that kind of, digital gold store of value nonsense. I mean, not that there's not a place for store of value, but to the exclusion of everything else, it just comes over as silly for me. But it's just my bias. I'm sort of getting off course a bit here. But when I've had another idea now, just this morning, I think, I was talking to the Argentinian guys who've been also, I've got a lot to learn from the other communities that have been doing this for a long time. Some things will work, some things won't, because it's different cultures, different circumstances. But one of the things they were saying, well, yeah, if you put on an event there, we'll come. I'm like, oh, okay. And I suddenly realized I don't want to put on an event now. So this is what I've got in mind now, is that my task is to nurture a Bitcoin Cash community there, so that when we do put on an event, I say we already, it's going to be the Bitcoin Cash, the Isle of Man Bitcoin Cash community that is hosting the event. It's not one man that's bringing loads of Bcashes in and we are an island within ourselves on the island. I want it to be the community, because in that way, if we do that in that order, then by the time there's a load of us lot there, it will be extending into there. It'll be boosting what the work that's already been done.
That's crucial. Yeah. Because when the BCH fanatics leave the island, you've got to make sure there's other fanatics there to carry on the work, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic, Gareth. I'm really excited to continue working with you on this project. The idea is hopefully to continue the sponsorship model with Dean, as long as he's writing and future writers on the Isle of Man TT. It's a bit of a passion project for me that gives me a lot of nostalgia of reflecting back to my youth and my father. But anything else you want to share with the community in general? In closing, we appreciate your time today, of course. So anything you want to share, feel free to say it to the camera, and we'll call it.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, pleasure always, Steve, to speak with you regarding the Dean and the connection with Bitcoin Cash and with Dean, but with the communities more. One of the things I'm wanting to nurture is the general Bitcoin Cash community with the Isle of Man and with the TT races and with Dean, and likewise the Dean and the Isle of Man Bitcoin Cash community also. So there's the things like using the guru thing and doing the purely peer drops, and I'll drop some furu in that as well, so that it's easier for people to make some bets. It's just a matter of wanting everybody to be as enthused about this and the cross-pollination.
Just to clarify, so you can drop cash tokens on peer-to-peer now. I didn't know if that was a function, and maybe something I overlooked. Is that something you can drop? So you can drop cash tokens on peer-to-peer. That's fantastic. So not only you can get a BCH prize, you can also get Furu that you will need to join the prediction market for D.
Yeah. And we might do, I was talking to someone here, we might actually do one here as well in Ljubljana.
Wonderful.
In fact, if we're going to do it, we better do it soon.
We should. We're coming down to the last day tomorrow, so we need to hustle. It seems like I always run out of time and don't get everything I want to accomplish.
Went fast.
But, yep, it always does. Always does. Well, thanks so much, Gareth. Much appreciated. Look forward to working with you in the future. Safe travels home. I know you've got a long haul. You went the long, long way.
Sure.
No flights involved, were there?
Nope.
Yep. Boats,
Nope.
boats and trains, and not even a train. Boats and cars, right?
What is it? Trains, plays, and automobiles.
That's right.
That was the score.
There you go. Well, safe travels home. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Steve.